Section 1. The Grand Architect, a universal symbol. The concept of a grand architect of the universe resonates deeply across cultures and spiritual traditions. It speaks to an innate human longing to understand the creative force behind the cosmos. This concept transcends religious boundaries, offering a unifying principle that connects us to something greater than ourselves. From ancient civilizations, who marveled at the celestial dome, to modern philosophers grappling with the mysteries of existence, the idea of a grand architect has captivated the human imagination for centuries. This exploration delves into the rich history and multifaceted interpretations of the grand architect. We will journey through the annals of Martinism and Kabbalah, two esoteric traditions that have grappled with this profound concept. By examining their unique perspectives, we aim to shed light on the enduring power and relevance of the grand architect in our search for meaning and purpose. Section 2. The Martinist Perspective. Within the enigmatic realm of Martinism, an esoteric Christian tradition, the grand architect of the universe holds a place of paramount importance. Martinists, inspired by the teachings of Louis-Claude de Saint-Martin, seek to unveil the hidden workings of the cosmos and their own spiritual evolution. Central to their philosophy is the belief in a primordial fall from grace and a subsequent yearning for reintegration with the divine source. The grand architect, in the Martinist context, is not merely a distant deity who set the universe in motion and then stepped aside. Rather, it represents an active and ever-present force guiding creation towards its ultimate redemption. This force, often associated with the figure of Christ, embodies wisdom, harmony, and the blueprint for spiritual transformation. Through a deep understanding of the grand architect's principles, Martinists believe that humanity can begin to retrace its steps back to its divine origin. Section 1. The Dawn of the Grand Architect. Our journey begins in the 16th century, a time of immense intellectual and spiritual ferment in Europe. Amidst the flourishing of Renaissance humanism and the burgeoning scientific revolution, a new term emerged to describe the divine, the grand architect of the universe. This expression, first coined by French architect Philibert Delorme in 1567, reflected a growing fascination with the order and harmony of the natural world. It suggested that the cosmos, like a meticulously designed building, was the product of a master intelligence. Delorme's concept of a grand architect resonated with the spirit of the age. The intricate movements of the planets, as revealed by Copernicus's heliocentric model, and the elegant laws of physics, as explored by Galileo and Kepler, all pointed towards a universe governed by mathematical precision. This newfound appreciation for the rational order of creation naturally led to a renewed contemplation of the divine mind that had conceived it. The idea of a grand architect was not entirely new, of course. Ancient philosophers like Plato had spoken of a demiurge who had fashioned the world according to eternal forms. What was distinctive about the 16th century revival of this concept was its emphasis on the architect as a skilled craftsman, meticulously designing and ordering the universe. This emphasis reflected the growing prestige of architecture as a noble art and the increasing secularization of European thought. Section 2. Christian Kabbalah and the Name of God. Parallel to these developments in architecture and science, a mystical current was also gaining momentum in 16th century Europe Christian Kabbalah. This tradition sought to reconcile the teachings of Jewish mysticism, as embodied in the Zohar and other Kabbalistic texts, with the doctrines of Christianity. Central to this endeavor was the interpretation of divine names and their hidden meanings. Christian Kabbalists believed that the Hebrew name of God, the Tetragrammaton, YHVH, held profound secrets about the nature of the divine. They saw in the addition of the letter Shin, forming the name YHSVH, Yeshua or Jesus, a confirmation of the Christian revelation. This interpretation suggested that the coming of Jesus represented a fuller manifestation of the divine in the world. This focus on divine names and their mystical significance had a profound impact on the understanding of the Grand Architect. For Christian Kabbalists, the Grand Architect was not simply an impersonal force, but a God who had revealed himself progressively through history, culminating in the incarnation of Jesus. This interpretation added a layer of personal intimacy to the concept of the Grand Architect, suggesting a God who was both transcendent and immanent, both beyond creation and intimately involved in its unfolding. The influence of Christian Kabbalah on the development of Martinism, particularly through figures like Martinist Perspective, cannot be overstated. Pasquales, a French mystic and the founder of a Masonic-inspired esoteric order, drew heavily on Kabbalistic ideas in his teachings. He saw in the Grand Architect not just a creator, but a redeemer, actively guiding humanity towards its spiritual restoration. Section 3. Martinez de Pasquales. A unique interpretation. Martinez de Pasquales, a figure shrouded in mystery and esoteric lore, occupies a pivotal place in the lineage of Martinism. His teachings, often veiled in allegory and symbolism, offered a unique interpretation of the Grand Architect, blending Christian Kabbalistic ideas with his own mystical insights. Pasquales' system emphasized the active role of the divine in the process of human redemption, a concept that would deeply influence later Martinists like Louis-Claude de Saint-Martin. For Pasquales, the Grand Architect was not merely a distant creator who had set the universe in motion. He was intimately involved in the ongoing drama of creation, working tirelessly to guide fallen humanity back to its original state of spiritual perfection. This process of reintegration, as Pasquales termed it, required active participation from the individual who had to strive to reconnect with the divine spark within. Pasquales' system placed great emphasis on the role of spiritual intermediaries, particularly the elect individuals who had attained a high level of spiritual development and could guide others on their path. Central to this lineage of elect was the figure of Christ, whom Pasquales identified with the Kabbalistic concept of Adam Kadmon, the primordial human who embodied the divine blueprint for humanity. Pasquales' teachings, while complex and often challenging to decipher, offered a compelling vision of the Grand Architect as a loving and compassionate guide, actively seeking to reunite his creation with himself. This emphasis on the transformative power of divine grace and the possibility of spiritual regeneration would become hallmarks of Martinism. Section 1. The Christ, the Grand Architect in Action. For Louis-Claude de Saint-Martin, the enigmatic unknown philosopher who inherited and elaborated upon Pasquales' teachings, the Grand Architect found its most complete expression in the figure of Christ. However, Saint-Martin's Christology differed significantly from traditional Christian dogma. He viewed Christ not merely as a historical figure, but as a cosmic principle, an archetype of spiritual perfection embodied in the person of Jesus. Saint-Martin believed that the Christ, as the Grand Architect in action, had been present throughout history, guiding humanity towards its spiritual destiny. He saw echoes of the Christ in the teachings of ancient sages and prophets, recognizing a universal wisdom that transcended religious boundaries. This eternal Christ, as Saint Martin sometimes called him, represented the divine spark within each individual, the potential for spiritual awakening and reintegration with the divine source. Central to Saint Martin's understanding of the Christ was the concept of reparation. He believed that humanity, through its fall from grace, had fractured the original harmony of creation. Christ's mission as the repairer was to mend this cosmic rift, to restore the flow of divine light that had been disrupted by human error. This act of reparation, however, was not a passive one. It required the active participation of humanity, a willingness to turn away from the illusions of the material world and embrace the path of spiritual transformation. Section 2. The Repairer and the Reconciler. Saint Martin's vision of the Christ as repairer was intricately linked to his understanding of Christ as reconciler. He believed that humanity's separation from the divine was not merely a matter of cosmic mechanics, but a profound spiritual alienation. We had become estranged from our true nature, lost in a labyrinth of material desires and egotistical pursuits. Christ's sacrifice on the cross, in Saint Martin's view, was not merely a means of atoning for humanity's sins, but a powerful act of reconciliation. Through his willingness to embrace suffering and death, Christ bridged the gulf that separated humanity from God. He demonstrated the path of love and self-sacrifice, the only way to heal the wounds of separation and restore our spiritual wholeness. This process of reconciliation, however, was not automatic. It required a conscious effort on the part of the individual to align themselves with the Christ principle within. This involved a turning away from the allure of the material world and a deep yearning for union with the divine. Saint Martin believed that this inner transformation was essential for humanity to fulfill its spiritual destiny and participate in the restoration of cosmic harmony. Section 3. The Imitation of Christ, a Path to Reintegration. For Saint Martin, the path of spiritual reintegration was not merely a matter of intellectual assent or mystical speculation. It required a profound inner transformation, a remaking of the self in the image of Christ. He called this process the imitation of Christ, urging his followers to study the life and teachings of Jesus as a blueprint for their own spiritual evolution. Saint Martin believed that the events of Christ's life, from his birth to his resurrection, held symbolic keys to unlocking the mysteries of spiritual transformation. He saw in Christ's baptism a symbol of spiritual rebirth, in his temptation in the desert, a metaphor for the trials of the spiritual seeker, and in his crucifixion and resurrection, a powerful allegory for the death of the ego and the awakening of the true self. This process of inner transformation, however, was not without its challenges. Saint Martin warned his followers against the pitfalls of pride, illusion, and attachment to the material world. He stressed the importance of humility, self-knowledge, and a relentless pursuit of truth. Only through such rigorous inner work, he believed, could humanity hope to transcend its limitations and achieve true spiritual liberation. Section 4. Jesus and the Christ, a Martinist Distinction. Saint Martin, following in the footsteps of his mentor Pasquales, made a clear distinction between the historical figure of Jesus and the cosmic principle of the Christ. He acknowledged Jesus as a highly evolved soul, chosen to embody the Christ principle on earth. However, he did not equate the two, recognizing that the Christ transcended any particular individual or historical manifestation. This distinction was crucial for Saint Martin's understanding of the Grand Architect. He believed that the Christ, as the divine spark within all beings, was accessible to everyone, regardless of their religious beliefs or cultural background. By cultivating the Christ principle within through the imitation of Christ's virtues and teachings, humanity could participate in the grand work of cosmic reparation and reintegration. Saint Martin's nuanced understanding of the Grand Architect, as embodied in the figure of Christ, offered a path of spiritual transformation that was both deeply personal and universally accessible. His teachings continue to inspire seekers today, inviting us to look beyond dogma and embrace the transformative power of the divine spark within. Section 1. The Kabbalistic Revolution of Isaac Luria. As the echoes of Martinist thought reverberated through the salons and lodges of Europe, A parallel exploration of the Grand Architect was unfolding within the mystical heart of Judaism Kabbalah. Isaac Luria, a 16th century Kabbalist of extraordinary depth and originality, revolutionized Jewish mystical thought with his profound teachings on creation, exile, and redemption. While Martinists found resonance with Christian Kabbalah, Luria's system emerged directly from the wellspring of Jewish esoteric tradition, offering a unique perspective on the Grand Architect's role in the cosmic drama. Luria's teachings, known as Lurianic Kabbalah, introduced a dynamic and dramatic element into the traditional understanding of creation. He envisioned a God not merely emanating into being, but actively withdrawing and concealing himself to make space for a finite world. This concept of Tzimtzum, the Divine Contraction, became a cornerstone of Lurianic Kabbalah, offering a profound meditation on the nature of God's relationship to creation. For Luria, the Grand Architect was not a distant watchmaker, setting the universe in motion and then stepping back to observe its workings. He was intimately involved in every aspect of creation, his presence both concealed and revealed within the intricate fabric of existence. Luria's system, with its emphasis on exile and redemption, resonated deeply with the Jewish experience, offering a language to grapple with the mysteries of suffering, loss, and the yearning for spiritual homecoming. Section 2. Tzimtzum, the Divine Contraction. Central to Luria's Kabbalistic revolution was the concept of Tzimtzum, a term that has captured the imagination of mystics and scholars alike. Imagine, if you will, the infinite light of the divine, a boundless ocean of pure being, suddenly withdrawing, contracting upon itself, creating a void, a space of potential where creation could unfold. This act of self-limitation, this divine stepping back, is the essence of Tzimtzum. But why would the infinite contract? Why would the all-encompassing create a space apart from itself? Luria's answer is both profound and paradoxical, out of an overflowing love, a desire to share its infinite goodness. By withdrawing, by concealing its overwhelming light, the divine created the possibility for a world to exist, a world that could reflect, however imperfectly, its infinite beauty and wisdom. This act of Tzimtzum, however, was not without its risks. As the divine light poured into the void, it shattered the vessels meant to contain it, scattering sparks of holiness into the realm of creation, where they became embedded in the very fabric of existence, awaiting their eventual redemption. This cosmic cataclysm, known as the breaking of the vessels, introduced the possibility of exile and fragmentation into Luria's system. The concept of Tzimtzum offers a powerful metaphor for understanding the human condition. Just as the divine contracted to make space for creation, we too must learn to create space within ourselves, to quiet the ego's clamor and allow the divine spark within to shine forth. This inner work of Tzimtzum is essential for our own spiritual awakening and for our participation in the cosmic drama of redemption. Section 3. Adam Kadmon, the Primordial Blueprint. Within Luria's intricate cosmology, the concept of Adam Kadmon, the primordial human, occupies a central place. Imagine, if you will, a being of pure light, a cosmic archetype, embodying the divine blueprint for humanity, a mirror reflecting the image of God in its totality. This is Adam Kadmon, the primordial human, the first emanation of the divine into the realm of creation. Luria's Adam Kadmon was not a physical being, but a spiritual archetype, a template for the human soul. Just as the vessels of creation shattered, scattering sparks of holiness, so too did the primordial human fragment, its limbs and organs becoming the seeds for the myriad souls that would populate the world. Each of us, according to Luria, carries within us a spark of Adam Kadmon, a fragment of the original divine image. This concept of the primordial human has profound implications for our understanding of the Grand Architect's plan. It suggests that our ultimate purpose is not merely to worship God from afar, but to participate in the process of tikkun, the restoration of the shattered vessels, the reintegration of the fragmented sparks of holiness, the rebuilding of Adam Kadmon within ourselves and in the world around us. Luria's teachings offer a challenging and inspiring vision of the human journey, a journey from fragmentation to wholeness, from exile to redemption. By aligning ourselves with the divine spark within, by cultivating our innate potential for love, compassion, and creativity, we become agents of tikkun, contributing to the restoration of cosmic harmony and the realization of the Grand Architect's ultimate plan. Section 1. Ritual Expressions, the Grand Architect in Ceremony. Both Martinism and Kabbalah, despite their distinct origins and theological nuances, share a deep reverence for ritual as a means of connecting with the ineffable mysteries of the Grand Architect. Through carefully choreographed ceremonies, imbued with symbolism and sacred language, initiates are drawn into a space where the veil between the material and the spiritual becomes thin, allowing glimpses into the hidden workings of the cosmos and their own divine nature. In Martinist lodges, the Grand Architect is invoked with a sense of awe and reverence, his presence felt in the hushed whispers of initiates, the symbolic arrangement of the lodge room, and the evocative language of ancient rituals. The tracing board, a symbolic map of the cosmos often displayed in Masonic lodges, serves as a visual reminder of the Grand Architect's design, guiding initiates on their journey of spiritual ascent. Kabbalistic practice, with its emphasis on the mystical power of Hebrew letters and divine names, employs ritual as a means of accessing hidden realms of spiritual energy. Through the recitation of prayers, the chanting of sacred formulas, and the contemplation of intricate diagrams, Kabbalists seek to harmonize themselves with the divine flow of creation, aligning their will with the will of the Grand Architect. These ritual expressions, passed down through generations of initiates, offer a tangible link to the ancient wisdom of Martinism and Kabbalah. They provide a framework for spiritual exploration, a language for communicating with the ineffable, and a path for aligning oneself with the cosmic harmony of the Grand Architect's design. Section 2. Written Reflections, Mystical Insights on the Page. The profound insights of Martinism and Kabbalah, while often expressed through the embodied language of ritual, have also found their way onto the written page, offering seekers a tangible record of mystical experiences and spiritual guidance. From the cryptic pronouncements of ancient Kabbalistic texts to the poetic musings of Louis-Claude de Saint-Martin, the written word serves as a bridge between the realms of mystical insight and intellectual understanding. The Zohar, the foundational text of Kabbalah, unveils a world of hidden correspondences and mystical interpretations of the Hebrew Bible. Its enigmatic verses, often attributed to the 2nd century sage Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, offer glimpses into the divine emanations, the nature of the soul, and the cosmic drama of exile and redemption. For Kabbalists, studying the Zohar is not a mere intellectual exercise, but a spiritual practice, a means of encountering the divine presence within the text itself. Saint Martin, in works like Of Errors and Truth and The Man of Desire, expressed his mystical insights in a language both poetic and precise. He sought to awaken his readers to the reality of the spiritual world, urging them to look beyond the illusions of the material realm and discover the divine spark within themselves. His writings, imbued with a sense of urgency and compassion, serve as a guide for navigating the complexities of the spiritual path. These written reflections, whether couched in the allegorical language of Kabbalah or the philosophical musings of Martinism, offer a rich tapestry of spiritual wisdom. They invite us to delve into the depths of our own being, to question our assumptions, and to embark on a journey of self-discovery, guided by the light of ancient traditions. Section 3. Artistic Representations, the Grand Architect in Symbol and Form. The ineffable nature of the Grand Architect, while defying complete comprehension by the rational mind, has inspired artists and artisans throughout history to capture its essence through symbolic representations and evocative forms. From the soaring arches of Gothic cathedrals to the intricate geometries of Islamic art, the creative impulse has served as a bridge between the realms of spirit and matter, offering tangible expressions of the divine presence within creation. In the grand cathedrals of Europe, built during the Middle Ages, the Grand Architect's presence can be felt in the soaring vaults, the intricate tracery of stonework, and the play of light and shadow within the nave. These awe-inspiring structures, often conceived as microcosms of the universe, invited worshippers to contemplate the grandeur of creation and the mystery of the divine. Islamic art, with its emphasis on geometric patterns, calligraphy, and arabesque designs, reflects a deep reverence for the underlying order and harmony of the cosmos. The intricate interplay of shapes and lines, often based on mathematical principles, suggests a universe governed by divine wisdom and precision. These artistic expressions serve as a form of visual meditation, inviting viewers to transcend the limitations of the material world and connect with the eternal realm of the spirit. The Kabbalistic tree of life, with its 10 interconnected spheres, offers a visual representation of the divine emanations and their descent into the material world. This powerful symbol, often depicted in intricate detail, serves as a map of consciousness, guiding Kabbalists on their journey of spiritual ascent and offering a framework for understanding the interconnectedness of all things. These artistic representations, whether found in grand architectural monuments or the intricate details of sacred art, offer a glimpse into the creative power of the Grand Architect. They remind us that the divine is not confined to the realm of the abstract, but permeates every aspect of creation, waiting to be discovered through the eyes of wonder and the heart of contemplation. Section 1. Echoes of Ancient Wisdom. As we conclude our exploration of the Grand Architect, we find ourselves standing at the confluence of ancient wisdom and modern aspirations. The echoes of Martinist and Kabbalistic teachings, though rooted in centuries-old traditions, resonate with a surprising urgency in our contemporary world, a world often grappling with fragmentation, uncertainty, and a sense of spiritual disconnect. The enduring power of these teachings lies in their ability to speak to the deepest longings of the human heart, our innate desire to connect with something greater than ourselves, to find meaning and purpose in a seemingly chaotic universe. The concept of a grand architect, whether envisioned as the divine geometer of creation, the compassionate redeemer, or the hidden spark within all beings, offers a framework for understanding our place in the grand scheme of things. It reminds us that we are not isolated individuals, adrift in a meaningless void, but integral parts of a vast and interconnected web of being. This awareness, far from diminishing our individuality, empowers us to live with a sense of purpose, knowing that our actions, however small, contribute to the unfolding of a larger cosmic drama. The teachings of Martinism and Kabbalah, though often veiled in symbolism and allegory, provide practical guidance for navigating the complexities of the spiritual path. They remind us of the importance of inner work, of cultivating self-knowledge, compassion, and a deep connection to the divine presence within ourselves and all of creation. This inner transformation, they teach, is not a solitary pursuit but a collective endeavor, a shared journey towards the restoration of cosmic harmony. Section 2. The Grand Architect Within. The most profound revelation of our exploration, perhaps, lies in the realization that the Grand Architect is not an external entity to be feared or worshipped from afar, but a living presence within each of us. The divine spark, the imago Dei, the atom Kadmon. These are not just theological abstractions, but living realities waiting to be discovered and nurtured within the depths of our own being. The journey towards the Grand Architect is ultimately a journey inward, a descent into the heart of our own being, where we encounter the divine mystery at the core of our existence. This inner sanctuary, this sacred space within, is where we can begin to unravel the mysteries of our own being, to heal the wounds of separation, and to awaken to our true nature as children of the cosmos. It is here, in the silence of contemplation, that we can begin to hear the whispers of the Grand Architect, guiding us towards our highest potential and inviting us to participate in the ongoing work of creation. The teachings of Martinism and Kabbalah, with their emphasis on self-knowledge, spiritual practice, and the transformative power of divine grace, offer invaluable tools for this inner work. They remind us that we are not passive observers in the cosmic drama, but active participants, co-creators with the Grand Architect in the ongoing unfolding of creation. As we move forward, let us carry with us the wisdom of these ancient traditions, not as rigid dogmas, but as living flames, igniting our own inner search for truth and guiding us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves, the cosmos, and the mystery we call the Grand Architect of the universe.